Getting ready to have a fight here at the Piney Woods homestead. Husband and wife throwdown. Picking y'all. Guys, thanks for stopping in at the Piney Woods homestead. We're digging some taters this morning. Not all these pretty taters over here that ain't ready yet. But if you remember, I just scattered a bunch of those, the golden ones. What are they called?
Yukon Golds.
Yukon Golds out where chickens used to be. And we kind of, it's a mess.
It was an experiment.
Experiment. Well, we're going to see how many taters we end up with out of that experiment today. I think we're going to be surprised. I hope. Looking forward to eating them. Guys, thanks for stopping in at Piney Woods Homestead. If the rooster would be quiet, maybe you could hear me. Thanks for stopping in. Hit that like and subscribe if you hadn't. If you have, as always, go ahead, Rooster, tell him thank you.
No, he's not going to.
He ain't trained yet. Let's get to it, guys.
I hate those.
So this was our experimental plot this year. We had moved this old chicken hut, and if you remember, I'd gotten up a bunch to the litter and we used it growing onions, but a lot of this soil was just saturated with chicken poo. And so thought it'd be a great spot to throw some taters down. Didn't have to add no fertilizer at all.
Look at the worms.
Big old fishing worms. Y'all, every time we get out here and get to digging, we're finding these worms, and I'm thinking, why are we not fishing somewhere under a shade tree?
Because we sold the boat.
We sold the boat. Yeah, and we got too much work to do out here. But this is what, they're died back good enough now. Lisa's gonna get in here and hopefully not get stung up by these fire ants.
Well, I got gloves.
We'll see how many we get.
I can't do anything in gloves. Nothing.
Well, I told you I'd get a shovel. We're gonna need it.
Look, I'm just gonna collect the worms.
Throw them in the bed behind you.
I know. I can't do this.
Can't do gloves.
I'm taking my chances with the ants.
I'm gonna have to get a shovel. We'll lose a few, but because they're down in the ground.
Oh yeah.
They won't be down in that hard pan. They'll mostly be where the soil is loose. There, you got a couple there. These are gonna be good cannon taters.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect size. Hey, if all else fails, we can eat worms.
Well, I don't think we want to do that, but
Did I ever tell you the story about little Johnny in school?
I don't think so.
Teacher was having a science experiment in the class, and this was grade school, and she had two mason jars up on her desk. One of them had water in it, and one of them had white liquor, moonshine. She took a worm and dropped it in the water, and the worm just swam all around and swam all around. Then she took a worm and dropped it in that jar of moonshine, and the worm just automatically died. So she asked the students, what have you learned from this experiment? Nobody'd raised their hand except for little Johnny. Well, little Johnny said, teacher, what I learned is if you got worms, drink alcohol.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm finding plenty of worms. More
Yes,
worms.
you are.
More worms.
Keep on digging.
I am. That bed's gonna be full of them now. Just relocating. I know. I'm supposed to...
Hold them in your hand and put them up.
know.
I know, get them. Look at all of these big old fat worms.
And little ones.
I love that chicken litter.
Mm-hmm.
So far, a whole lot of worms and a few potatoes, but we got more to dig. I'm gonna put this thing on a little time lapse. At least I get these things dug. We'll see how many we end up with.
I started putting the worm in the potatoes.
Well, we can go fishing. Put the worm in there. All right, so the big reveal. Here's the potatoes. Hold them up. Y'all, enough for a couple of messes in the house, right?
That's really probably about 4 messes in the house.
That's good. I mean,
yeah.
And it was going to be waste, and so we planted them jokers.
And they were well beyond really using for seed potatoes.
They were really. But look, we got potatoes, and I'd say there's every bit of 3 or 4 pounds of potatoes right there.
That's close to a 5-pound bag, maybe.
So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And they ain't the biggest in the world, but man, they'll be good. Washed up, a little bit of butter in the pan. Maybe a little garlic, a little onion, seasoning, salt. That's a meal right there. Now show off what it, and we didn't get all these.
No.
We started collecting worms.
We should have kept collecting them because that would have looked more impressive than.
Look down in here. Look down in here.
Than our.
Look at all these earthworms, y'all.
Now I put some in some raised beds already, but
Y'all, there's a gallon of worms in there.
We should be worm farmers.
Well, we were at one time.
Well, that's true. Well, you are.
Look at this. Pick up as many as you can at one time.
At one time?
Look at that. Y'all, I don't know what we're more tickled over. Actually, we can eat on them taters for a week.
Oh, yeah.
So we didn't waste anything by doing it this way. You know, we had that spot. I said, I'm gonna till it up. Actually, I didn't even till it. I just dug it out when I was making an onion bed.
Yeah, you did, and it was several year old composted chicken litter.
Slabs. All that poo and slabs, and so they grew fine. And actually, they came to maturity quicker than anything else we planted around here. Those Yukons. Yep. And all we did was put a little bit of that dirt that I brought home.
Yeah, we healed them with
it with that.
Yeah.
Nothing else was done. We never watered them. No additional fertilizer of any kind.
No, they were just back there behind the raised bed.
And it was probably a half a pound of old shriveled up potatoes.
Yeah.
That had big old long leads on them already.
I mean, completely shriveled up. Technically not good for seed purposes, but.
So do not waste last year's potatoes. If you've got some shriveled up like that, throw them on a spot like this. Yeah. Get you a week's worth of potatoes out of it. You go to the store and buy that right now. At least $5.
Let's see, a 5-pound bag
of Yukon Golds.
Of Yukon Golds is, I think, either $6.99 or $7.99 in our grocery store.
So it was wasted space back here. We turned it into something that produced a little bit of something. Yep. It's not much, but it's a little something. And these worms, y'all, good gracious. We're going to put these in the beds.
Yeah. All the beds already have great amount,
but these are huge, y'all.
It never hurts to add more.
We're going to put some fishing back into our schedule here at some point, right?
We need to.
Maybe some saltwater fishing. That would be good, but not with these worms.
No.
Well, guys, we are plumb hot. It's miserable. I was down in the garden a while ago, and I told Lisa I think tomorrow morning she's going to be down there picking some green beans. Yeah, be happy about it.
I am very happy about it.
It's just hot. It's hot as blazes, y'all. Yeah. As my daddy would say, that's what I love about the South. It's hot. It's miserable. But you get used to sweating. We grew up, we didn't always have air conditioning. Daddy'd say, as we're laying in the bed at night, sweating, sweat pouring off our brow, he'd say, think cool thoughts.
Think cool thoughts.
And it actually worked. It'd help you get to sleep. So think cool thoughts, y'all. If you're hot and sweaty like us, drink plenty of ice water, maybe some sweet tea. Guys, we hope you'll have a good day, a great week, and Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high, and I can find her tomorrow morning instead of down at the creek trying to catch a brim or something.
I mean, we do have the creek, so technically I could go fishing.
You could go fishing.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next one, guys. Y'all have a good day.